There you go, feeder, just the way I'm feeling, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a great show lined up this week, haven't we?
Go on, what have you got planned?
Well, I've got songs from David Bowie, Thin Lizzy, Gene, AC/DC, you heard Feeder there, you got, Smiths, all that. We got a great feature, a new feature. We spoke to Karl in the week, and we worked out a new feature where, people are gonna give him sort of like problems to solve. There could be scenarios, there could be management scenarios at work, you know, problem solving, things like that, organising things. He's a very good organiser, so I'll tell you what happened. He's dropping Do We Need Him, because he's getting fed up with scientists. He thinks there's a conspiracy and they're getting together and they're never gonna lose an animal.
Right.
So he's just fed up with that. Rockbusters, we've got some great prizes.
Well, have you seen them yet?
No.
Be careful.
They're not gonna be great,
I just peeked in, and all I'm gonna say to you is, Fools and Horses Christmas Special?
Not the little one with the little car.
With the little car, yeah.
Brilliant. That is excellent. Karl, what have you got to say for yourself? Hold on, it was a rollover, wasn't it? Because you really mucked up Rockbusters last time. What was he doing? It was saying FP for the whole thing. No, FD you were saying, and it was Frida Payne.
Have you written the clues down this week? Because that seems like an obvious way to improve it.
Yeah, I'll write the clues
The week
down.
before he couldn't remember what the answer was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you learn by your mistakes and that.
You don't.
Well. So
Shall I give you a little taster? But we were having a pizza in a pizza establishment. When was it? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a good organiser, I'm a good problem solver. Give me any scenario, right? Obviously he didn't say scenario. And I went, okay then, so you're the manager of this place, and there's a couple there, elderly couple, they're about 60. They've had a lovely meal. He went, yeah, right. I went, but the gentleman, he's got a little bit of a heart condition, he takes a pill after his meal, as he should, after meals. He's only taken Viagra.
Oh.
And now he's stuck in.
Wedged in?
Wedged in.
We've all been there.
It's gone, and it's stopping him getting out from the table.
Yeah.
So what would you do? He went, what? He's stuck in because of his dick? I went, yeah. He went, right. He said, I'd use the situation, I'd make cash. I said, you're not going anywhere, do you want a pudding?
Entrepreneurial, I like it, Karl.
And he went, so that's that sorted, I've got the job on that. Next, I went, okay. You won't believe it. Next day, there's a little problem in the toilets. Two gay men were having sex and they got stuck in each other. Yeah, yeah. He went, right. I'd say, is it the same fella as yesterday with the Viagra? If so, why was he let in again? He was on the door.
Yeah.
I went, it's not, it's too different. He goes, right.
Does his wife know he's cheating on him?
Yeah. He went, right, I'd go down, I'd go, and then he went, oh, I'd say this isn't a restaurant problem, call an ambulance. Strictly speaking, not a restaurant problem, no.
But am I right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Would you give me the job if say, like, you were the boss of that restaurant, and you...
Do you know what I like about this? At no point did he say, Gervais, why are you being so mental?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would someone get stuck because they took Viagra by mistake, and two people would get stuck in each other?
But you've heard the stories from his past. That is a perfectly legitimate situation to find yourself in. If you grew up in his part of
What would you
Manchester.
do if there was two fellas with big heads and webbed feet, and they had a horse in a... Well, what I'd do is... What would you do? What did you do when you first saw them?
What, saw the
kids
lads with the big heads and
Yeah, yeah.
We should very quickly remind people, if they didn't listen to that particular show, they had webbed hands.
Yeah.
Did they, or webbed feet?
Well, they had webbed hands.
Right.
And big
and
heads.
enormous heads.
But it wasn't related.
But they weren't related
I know,
to each
they were
other.
completely
No,
separate
but I'm
people.
saying that the webbed hands isn't due to the fact they've got a big head.
No, sure.
It's two different things. We're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, hold on. If they weren't related, and they both had webbed hands and big heads, I'm saying there was a condition that was related that had those two.
I don't think there was.
So what do you think the chances of that are? They're not related, and he goes, oh, you got a big head and webbed hands as well. Yeah, just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was related.
Right.
Because I've since seen the same problem again on another kid with a big head. His hands look good.
Right, so you think the big head is just a separate issue?
Yeah, it's a totally different illness. It's like having a headache and a cold at the same time.
Right,
It's,
sure,
you know.
not always connected.
But the weird thing is, right, and looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there's this woman who's got a big head,
Oh, yeah.
and she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big, she couldn't hold it up.
Right.
Right?
She couldn't hold it up.
Oh God! Oh God!
Okay, shut up.
So
She could hold up.
when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right, and she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, you know, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't. It's
How big was her head?
It's
I
big,
think
Rick.
I don't know if it was like big because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone. so it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just
So yeah,
outcrops.
right. So the doctor said, we can sort that out. But we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
No,
okay,
but
so
listen
keep
to
going.
this. Listen.
Keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
You're quizzical yourself.
So looked at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths.
They
His arse.
took a woman's head off.
Yeah, this is asked by the Smiths.
And if you'd like to ask Carl something, details coming up soon.
Ask by the Smiths on XFM 104.9. So, what's the email, Carl? If people want to ask you something, a problem, they've got a problem to solve. It can be anything. It could be a personal problem. It could be a scenario. It could be about war. It can be anything. But
Or it could be more flippant, I suppose, and light-hearted.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I prefer stuff that I could
So you can
sort
get your teeth into.
and actually, sort out.
What, like war?
War is too. It's a bit big for me, that one.
Do you think?
I don't want to get into that.
What do you mean? If Tony Blair came to you and he went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble here. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried spin. I've tried being tough. I've tried backing down. I've tried getting other countries involved. They don't want to know. What do I do? What do I do?
Oh,
You don't know?
tricky one. I don't
It is
get,
a tricky
I
one,
don't
it is a
get
tricky one,
involved. I don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, innit?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just get in the bath, put a mattress on top of you. That's it.
Sorry, why are you doing that?
Ooh, slow down.
Why are you doing that?
That's what they say you do, innit? If it kicks off.
If what kicks off.
If there's a war and that, you get in the bath, put a mattress on top.
Right. Did they do that in the Second World War for 6 years?
Was that making bunk beds?
That's what I read somewhere.
Yeah.
Is the bath full of water?
No.
No.
That'd be daft.
Okay.
I think they were enamel baths then, though. I think they'd stop a bit of shrapnel. I think the plastic ones you get nowadays would probably melt on you. And the mattress, where your dad has cut it in half, all the foam would come out and the springs would get you in the eye.
Oh, talking about my dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes, well, I can relate to that. That's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here, because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, do you fancy going on this? He said, oh, alright. And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something. And he said, 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, I might as well stay on the ground.
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, how are things? Are they alright and that? He said, oh, being ripped off. I said, why? He said he ordered, do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one in
Of course,
half,
yeah.
right? He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but, well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment. That's different to what it says in the catalogue. And they said, yeah, we'll go along with that. Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, that's great. So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, I'm not happy with this. He said, we said a deal. And I'm like, oh, no, don't know what you're talking about. He said, right, don't send me your catalogues anymore. He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant. Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes. Only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right? So he was well annoyed.
Yeah.
So he looked on the back, and it said on it, this catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you. Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, alright, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you conned me, and that. But, forget that. We've dealt with that. You sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day.
Brilliant.
He said, you already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, sorted it out. So again, it's just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So-
What sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like
laughing.
an investment.
Yeah. It's like an antique. He's
It's just, it's just going up every day. So,
Well, keep us posted on that. That's dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions
I think
need to
we
be
do.
answered.
In fact, I might sit and give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Carl.
New single from Nick Cave. I think
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should say that, right? Because I went to a market at one point just to look at the things that were for sale there. There's lots of eels and lots of fish and lots of other interesting items, right? So I'm looking at the market, I'm taking some photos, and I noticed this, I hear this kind of murmur, right, that's going around the market, and then I start to see them, all the people in the market, sort of pointing, right, and staring and talking at something, right? So I'm looking around, trying to figure out what it is, right? And I realise they're looking and pointing at me. I genuinely swear to God, right? So they start, and then,
Did they think one of the big eels had escaped?
well, they started laughing.
Oh no.
They started openly pointing and laughing. One of them, right, started, like, I think he was a postman. He looked like he might be a Vietnamese postman. I don't know why that should make any difference, but he started doing a sort of lumbering, sort of Frankenstein walk. And pointing at me, right? A whole section of them just started cackling with laughter. And then at one point, a woman in one of those sort of Vietnamese lampshade hats, right? She runs up behind me and she attaches to my back a sort of kick me thing that you would have attached to some nerd at school's back, right? She actually put something like that on my back. I don't realise initially, so they're just chortling. They are weeping by now, and I'm talking like the whole market is in hysterics. And old ladies are coming up to me and just, you know, comparing their heights and then giggling, and then I'm sort of trying to get this thing off my back, so I look like a dog, you know, chasing its tail. And I just realised that this entire marketplace was just openly laughing at me. And what angered me, Rick, was that I've spent a lot of time in this country, in the UK, right, building up a career, right, so that people don't laugh at me, right? They respect me, they see me as a man of great accomplishments and achievements.
Yeah.
I go to another country where
With that hat,
exactly.
walking around with those glasses with a little money belt on, maybe
Yeah.
sandals.
Sandals with socks because I got a foot infection. And it turns out that they're just laughing at me, just openly mocking and laughing at me, right? So I just genuinely, I got upset and I got
You threw down your cagoule, left your clogs behind, and got on the first plane back.
I hopped in a rickshaw straight back to the hotel where they do not laugh at me openly. But anyway, just to return to the dong issue, right, this is what worried me, was that, obviously you got a tip, so we had a driver for a few days, right, and you got to leave him a tip. And I never feel a bit awkward, when do you give him the tip and everything, how does it work? And so I didn't know how much it should be, and I was thinking, well, you know, it's a poor country, I've had a driver a couple of days, you know, I haven't paid for the driver, so I'll give him like $20, right, which is like 10 quid, you know, I'm thinking that seems like a good tip. I get in there, I read in the guidebook, I should have only given him $2. I
So?
gave him 20.
That's
Well,
all right.
but no, because A, you don't want to upset the precious equilibrium. You don't want to upset the financial equilibrium because he might have gone berserk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $20 is a lot to him. He might have left his family, you know, bought a different, you know, corrugated iron shack
What
somewhere
if he
else.
turned up with a hat like yours and said,
Exactly, we're
"Let's
mates
go-
now, aren't we?
We're mates now, let's go
Yeah.
back to England."
Let's pick up some ladies. So I was a bit worried. So I was thinking of asking for the money, you know, for some change, but I didn't think that was appropriate. So, but then I was worried because then I was thinking, what if all the other drivers within his organisation find out that I've given him like $20? They're all going to be expecting a big tip.
Yeah.
So that was a big worry. But more than that, we'd also had a guide with us, so he was bound to find out how that thing is. Right, now I didn't have any dollars left, and I thought, well, I've given that guy 20, I got to give the guy who's been talking English to us, showing us around, helping us out, I got to give him even
50.
more. Right, I ended up giving him $1 million dong,
And how much is that?
$63. I tipped someone $1 million.
So he's a millionaire now.
Yeah, I made someone a millionaire through my generosity.
Well, so did I. He's sitting over there.
That's absolutely
But he
right.
doesn't want to give anything back. So I know how you feel, mate. Young, old man. Carl. Now, you know, traditionally at the zoo, they have to dart a dangerous animal, a lion or a gorilla or
After
whatever.
what?
They have to dart it,
Oh yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to take blood samples and check its health and stuff. So it's very stressful for the animal and quite dangerous to give it an anaesthetic like that. So what they've started doing now, there's a bug, right, like a type of beetle, and it's a bloodsucker. It's a little vampire bug, Okay, it's about 3 centimetres long. What they do is, they tie a piece of string around it, they let it go into the cage on the chimp, it sucks the chimp's blood without the chimp even knowing, they pull it back, and they take the blood sample from it.
They've taught it to do that.
Well, they're not taught it to do anything. That's its nature. You put it near a warm-blooded mammal, it will suck its blood. So they've just tied a string to it so they can get it back.
And how often does it have to do that a day?
Well, I don't know. Why are these the important questions?
Just because
Isn't that incredible that they've got this amazing symbiotic relationship with a bug? Because that's
is it
what
the same one? Say if there's 8 chimps.
Oh, jeez, Carl, listen to me.
No, let him. I want to.
I'm just saying, if there's 8 chimps in there,
Yeah,
1 beetle.
yeah.
By about number 5, that's going to be sick of eating.
Well, then they probably have different beetles, and they let it. And Carl, I don't know why this is the.
I'll tell you why it annoys me,
avenue
because
of questioning.
it annoys him.
the other concern is, that beetle, it might be enjoying, getting the blood and what have you. What happens if one of them's got AIDS?
What, one of the.
One of the chimps, that's where it came from. So say if there's
Well, then they know, and they say, oh, this chimp's got AIDS, let's.
Well, what about the beetle?
What, you're saying you're worried that the beetle will contract AIDS?
Well, I don't know if that's how it works, but all I'm saying is, you get a dirty chimp in there, it's got a touch of that, and the beetle gets it, and all I'm saying is, it seems a bit unfair.
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what it likes.
This is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers, to me. They, let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long do they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle, they get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this, right? This elephant beetle in the paper the other day,
Yeah.
about the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd looking thing.
Mm.
The bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
This is interesting.
well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no, if you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of, like, Steve, I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's nothing to do with his height.
I just think bigger people, it's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. They never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
You never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
so the
Well,
thing,
maybe they're there.
no, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
Lives 4 months, been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for, it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of, like, desperately wanting to have it away. It was
Well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away
well, anyway,
6 times at exactly the same moment.
its feet go, apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they were they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I said, well, how big's the gerbil?
That's just scientists HQ. There's a hotline you can phone
come
that.
round. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring. Operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello? Gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean its feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner. It's dying for it. and they were saying they only lived 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old, this one.
How can they tell that?
The problem is, they haven't got any of these beetles here,
Right.
so they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back, because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in a beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
But I don't know the full story in that, I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
do, I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I
It
don't know
deserves
why-
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan or
Why
wherever
do
they
you
come
care so much about beetles all of a sudden?
Only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
from. Absolutely.
Stone Roses on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington for the last time,
Indeed.
I'm afraid.
Yes.
So, we're going to have a little bit of a chat. We're sewing up some things with Karl.
Indeed.
We're giving away that prize, that BAFTA bag, and,
Playing some great music.
And we're just, I'm bringing in my favourite tunes. I'm bringing the Smiths, Radiohead, Cat Stevens, David Bowie, Neil Young, the classics. Steve's doing the same.
Indeed.
Well, Karl, the last time apparently, someone's got it a bit wrong. We're not actually away for 6 weeks. We're away for about, we'll be back in, August, won't we?
What the hell?
Yeah. No, don't swear.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
On the last show, you have to say that.
Already brought the tone down.
Yeah.
Cheapened it,
And I think it's blasphemous as well.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, hell isn't, is it?
isn't it?
No, I don't think that's not blasphemy, is it?
Taking hell's name in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it you were saying the other week about the Queen Mum used to have the right mouth on her?
What?
I don't think we said that on air, Carl.
What?
No, but last week you
Yeah.
were saying about bad language, and I was saying, there'll come a time when bad language isn't, doesn't matter anymore. You can F and Jeff and stuff.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, Steve.
Really?
Right, let me explain to you, the listener at home. Carl was worried about swearing, and as a joke, off air, it was last week, we were saying that in the 1940s and 50s, the Queen Mum used to say things like, and we were quoting things she'd said,
Yeah.
like, I'm saying, but putting F's and C's in there, and you believed us.
What, so this whole week you've believed that we somehow had knowledge that the Queen Mum used to swear
say-
like a trooper?
We were doing fake quotes from her in her voice, but putting in F's and C's, and you believed us. I mean, I didn't even think, I thought you were going along with a joke, but it obviously made an impact.
Carl, we've said this, you've got to question and query everything. You can't take things at face value, certainly not if they come out of the mouths of Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry about that, Carl. It was a little trick.
Is there any other things now that, as
Is
you
there
look back
anything
over
we've
the
said that
time
you've been
we've
thinking
played
about
with
that
us,
I can tell you now that was a lie?
anything you've maybe queried or questioned, you've thought, that doesn't seem right, that maybe Ricky's told you?
Something might come to me
Okay.
later on, but
Okay. Well, what about Carl? I mean, we love you, right? Obviously, we know that. We've got great affection for you. We look forward to this. I'm going to miss you, really. And I'll tell you what, you've got a heart of gold. Now, wait till you see what the record is, Steve, and you'll see what I've done.
Is it Heart of Gold?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, that's why he's a bronze award winner at the Sonys.
I don't get up for bronze. I don't get out of bed for bronze.
No, that's a waste of our time.
Karl Pilkington over there on XFM 104.9. Winner of a bronze award
At the Sony Radio Awards.
The Radio Oscars. So
Man
Phil
alive.
Jupiter said. That's what he called them on Liquid News.
I'll tell you this, Rick, I'm not used to being on a table with losers at an award ceremony.
No, I don't. I'm glad I didn't want to come in to do the final show.
No.
I went straight over and sat with Pete and Jeff, didn't I?
Yeah. I went
In
over to
Radio
the,
4. I went over with Paul Gambaccini.
I went over
That's
to BBC World Service.
Yeah.
It's a lot funkier. A lot
Yeah.
cooler.
Won an award.
Yeah, well,
I won an
they
award.
swept the boards.
Yeah. I don't. Bronze is nowhere.
What was the mood? What was the mood
Silver's.
here?
Silver's. What was the mood here?
Because the day after, because people were, I mean, let me tell you now, I think XFM deserved an award, and I thought it was criminal, actually.
But what I did like that we certainly had the room, because Pete and Jeff said good luck to us and Christian, that was really nice. And then someone else mentioned it,
James Nesbitt.
James Nesbitt said, XFM and stuff, so it certainly had the...
He said something about it.
Yeah, so it certainly had the room. And for a local, you've got to realise it's a local radio station, you know, and you can't compete really with Radio 2 and Radio 4.
But what was the mood the day after here at XFM?
It was alright. I mean, I think we expected a few more, but...
you shouldn't take these things seriously anyway.
But what I didn't
never
realise,
take
Rick,
awards seriously.
But what I didn't realise is you have to pay thousands of pounds just to nominate. Just to get into the running for an award. So you've already, you know, they've squandered thousands of pounds.
No, it's not thousands, is it?
Well, it mounts up because you pay to enter.
And then the table.
You've got to buy, like, mini-discs and that to send your stuff in on.
Sure.
With Sony mini-discs.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Carl.
I'm not saying anything.
No.
And also then you've got to pay for the table.
Right.
And the food and the drink. I mean, it's a few grand.
I swore on live television as well that night.
Yeah.
But I've never done that before. I mean, I've sworn before, but never accidentally. And we were being interviewed for, and Christian was sort of like, quite, you know, being a bit boisterous, and he must have brought out the worst in me, and I just accidentally said the F word, and I apologised straight away. I didn't want to embarrass Phil Dupas. He was doing a good job.
He does that himself, yeah.
but I was thinking about yesterday, and you're saying a bronze isn't worth having, right?
Yeah.
But, say like...
We're only joking, none of them are worth having, but they're very nice. They're very nice to win.
Bronze is pointless.
But you say that, because, like, bronze is, like, coming last, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the name of the person who won the marathon this year? No?
Yeah, but that's because we're not sporty. I'm sure there's lots that can.
But then, the guy who came last, who was in the swimsuit, people remember him. And
No, I don't remember his name either.
No, what's his name?
No, but he was 6 days late. I mean, he was really
Yeah, but
bad.
what's his name then?
You see, no one's remembering either.
No, but if someone said who won the marathon, I'd go, I don't know, but there was that guy in the swimsuit.
Well, I'd say I don't know, it was a woman.
Yeah.
She had shorts on and trainers.
I'm just trying to make...
My point is, what they will remember is that we were losers. That's what they remember. They may not remember our names.
Yeah.
They'll just point and shout losers.
We're all winners, aren't we? We're all winners, really.
For taking part, sure.
Yeah.
And it's all subjective as well, isn't it?
Go on.
I mean, I'm not going to moan about awards because you've won a lot of them. It's like saying they don't mean jack. But at the end of the day, right, there's some shows that won awards and you go, yeah, that's, you know, that's worth an award.
I think you've got to treat it... I mean, some awards actually boost your profile or career or your cachet or everything like that. Some is just a nice night out when it's nice to win, but I don't think you should really take any award that seriously.
What worries me though, Rick, as I mentioned on the night, is that when I was at school, I mean, you look at me now, you probably think he's an athletic kind of guy, he's a sporty dude, you know, but at school, bizarrely, that was not the case.
No, what, were you a bit of a lanky beanpole with the
It turns out,
You're
yeah.
joking?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So, and yet I got a silver, in the high jump.
Yeah.
And I've done better in the high jump, right? Did no training whatsoever, did no practice, just turned up.
You were 2.5 foot taller than every other person in your class.
Yeah, but wait a minute, people think that if you're tall, that makes you easier, it makes it easier for you to do the high jump. Surely not, because I've got all that leg to get over the pole. That makes it harder for me, surely.
Don't talk rubbish.
What are you talking about?
Well, of course the taller you are, the more chance you got at the high jump.
What, explain that to me.
being equal. Oh, what, are you, okay then. So, is it harder for a 6-foot man to step over a matchbox, or a baby midget?
A baby midget? That is tiny, Rick.
Hang on. Here's something I've learned, remember?
Go on.
Back to, like, show 4 or whatever.
Go on.
What is it? The flea can jump over the London Eye?
No! No, it can jump the equivalent of, if it was a 6-foot man, it can jump about 6 inches high. A flea cannot jump over the London Eye.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it can.
And
Tell your kids that.
God. Oh,
remember.
Oh, a flea can jump over the London Eye. And an ant can lift 3 Volvos.
But you're talking about fitness people and that. Remember when we were in the pub, right?
Yeah.
And your mate Johnny was in there.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that guy who got done, right? Because he entered a wheelchair race.
Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with him. His legs were all right.
Yeah.
Now, he got done because he shouldn't have been involved in it.
Yeah.
But don't you think that really he's really good for doing that, because he's not normally in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So he's not used to how they move about.
Yeah.
His arms aren't as strong as the other fellas who are always in the wheelchair.
Sure. He had his mate pushing him, that was the problem.
Yeah, it was motorised.
I'd give him a gold plus. You know, you're taking a bloke who's not used to doing something. he does it the first time and beats the people who are at it.
What about that woman, though, that was disqualified in the shooting, because she was in a wheelchair, and she was just in the normal, able-bodied Olympics, it was just right, but she wasn't allowed to rest her elbow on the arm of her chair, because that was something disadvantage. She was in a wheelchair, and she's shooting, but she was getting unfair advantage, and they said, you cannot put your elbow on the arm of your
Sneaky,
wheelchair.
aren't they? No, they are. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Do you want to play
Some of them aren't even disabled, it turns out.
Hold on, though. We're talking about athletes, aren't we? What record should we play next?
I'd love to hear that single that was out a couple of months back by Athlete. Let's have Athlete. Man alive. West Side by Athlete, a track that I know you and I have enjoyed.
Yeah, it was one of our favourite new tracks of the year, that one. Yeah,
absolutely.
Very good. More of our favourite tracks to come on XFM 104.9.
You know,
me, Ricky Gervais, and you,
Steve Merchant,
and
Carl Pilkington.
Sure, go on.
You know, I was mentioning the high jump. High jump. Do you know the reason I didn't get the gold? It's faintly embarrassing because the guy it was just neck and neck, me and another guy. In fact, he was slightly shorter than I was, and I was using the traditional Fosby flop. Is it the Fosby flop?
Fosby flop.
And he was using a method which I can only describe as the Superman, where he was running at the bar and diving headfirst over it. I've never seen this technique before.
It's illegal. That's
absolutely incredible. Is it not allowed?
The Fosby flop only works because his shoulder and going over before his head.
Right.
That's they got around the rule. You weren't allowed to dive over because it was
obviously no one monitoring that.
Yeah, no.
Just the games teachers having a quick fag.
Yeah, yeah. What was his name again?
The
fag.
I think his name was Mr. Woodbine. But he anyway, so he's using this method, right, and it gets neck and neck, and I don't know how many chances you get to knock down the bar, but anyway, it got to the point where basically I had to get over the bar, or I was going to come second.
Sure.
And I decided at that point to use his method, because he'd seemed to be doing so well with it, I thought, well, I'll try that then, that looks easy.
Oh dear.
And ran at the bar, launched, didn't actually get my feet off the ground, just hit the bar like I was someone finishing a race, you know.
Did you have...
It was so pathetic, just clattered everywhere.
I just want to get this picture of you at the age of, what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
6'5" already, probably?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Probably, what, about 9 stone?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have your glasses on?
Of course I did.
You must have looked pretty sexy.
Probably a small bum fluff tash.
Yeah.
That's the forthcoming single from Nick Cave from his album Nocturama. That's called Bring It On.
That's great. I must admit, I was a latecomer to Nick Cave.
He's extraordinary, yeah.
I mean, years into his solo stuff before, you know, I decided that he was brilliant.
Yeah,
He's fantastic.
He's fantastic. I had some exciting news this week, Carl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly. Because I know you think you like things to be quite you know, samey. You like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, you know, we've had some crosswords. You know, because I remember, what did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it, because I'm just being honest, though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I don't know, that's Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did he say before?
Yeah, well,
he's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew, I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, why's your kid? And he goes, oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders.
Right.
It was like that. When I saw Carl, and I brought you in, and I went, what do you think of that, Carl? I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might have just got used to it.
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Carl.
Did you discuss it?
Carl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
It's worse than you ever thought!
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais,
yeah.
What did I do on, Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing,
For those, that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine, apparently it sells quite well, it's one of the sort of female, you know, kind of, issues magazines, I think it's called Company Magazine, you know, it's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello! Who's in there this year? In the 50? In the top 50 of the entire country?
and then they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
no.
Which always sort of unnerves me
And also
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're
But-
getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
You know,
no,
it's
no,
not really,
no, no,
because
no.
also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to...
No,
Go on, then.
There's a huge, I don't know if this is international, it could even be international, I'm
Sure.
not sure actually, so I
Sure.
could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake,
Sure.
etc. So, Fred Durst,
Yeah.
that sort of person, you know. So anyway, this is what's exciting, right, although I'm slightly frustrated because they were telling me that last year, alright, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is number one. Most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas. Okay? This year, I'm rather annoyed, because all I'm gonna win is a moped. That's the prize this year, that's the prize this year, a moped.
Whoa, backtrack.
What?
Sorry? Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
Just
what?
a moped, all I'm gonna get is a
All
moped.
you're gonna win is a moped.
Yeah, I'm
You're
so-
not you got no chance.
You're
You've
having
got
enough.
no chance.
You're
Who
having
else is
enough.
in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know, lots and lots of them are people you'd never heard of. I know Duncan from Blue is in
Dean,
this.
so
No.
so you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're gonna come behind the other 49.
No,
So
but, you
know,
because there'll be people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to he, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC. Brilliant. You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rocking.
It is
Ricky
indeed.
Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I came up with a new, strand for Karl as well. He's always got, we've done, I don't think there's a week gone where we haven't mentioned an airy kid.
A hairy child,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah. And some related to a monkey and that. And I thought you could do a regular thing where he's got to come up with a story about an ape or a monkey, and it's called Chimpanzee That.
Of course.
I have got one, but I can't remember it at the moment, so I'll just have to
It'll
think
come to you
about
whenever
it.
you join the
Yeah.
show. Well, listen, while you're thinking about that, while you're stewing on that, here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or, just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you, it could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It could be something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma, something that's happening locally. Anyway, this seems one that I think you and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past. And I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, they're just generally making mayhem, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, "I'll piss off." The police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team,
And he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird, because now it has got out of hand.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, years ago when I was growing up on the estate, yeah, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean?
Summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right, and...
Police are getting shorter and
But
younger.
you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything
but
like these
never-
kids
I mean,
here,
the thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee.
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door. and I
Chloroformed
thought-
himself, just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh god, this is the fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were.
It came-
Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love it!
See how far I could
It's
throw it.
brilliant.
So, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you
but-
invent that game?
Right,
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Carl, go and play with your stone.
The thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and it
Of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it.
Yeah.
In case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh god. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. It's a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of, you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it, saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, "Go and get the door." And I sort of went, oh, as if I'd been asleep.
Yeah.
And went to the door, like, rubbing my eyes. And the fella said, what did you run off for? I saw you. I was like, oh, no. And I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings. So I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school. And my dad said, 45 quid.
Oof.
That's all he said.
That's all
when
he
he
said.
looked at me.
And then you fell asleep, and he went, wake up, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
No, the thing
Carl.
he didn't have to do
£45,
anything.
Carl. Now, I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I did wrong, and I was scared that my dad was going to belt me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you know, I'll be more careful next time.
But that was clearly good parenting on the part of your father, because these young tykes, clearly they don't have the,
what do you do?
the father
I
support.
don't
do
even,
they?
I don't know if
If you were living in that street, very quickly, what would you do? What would your approach be? If you were living in his street?
What if they'd come over and they just vandalised all your pebbles, right, that you've been saving over the years, and just threw your gravel away? What would you do if they just...
I'd probably clout one of them.
So you'd use violence?
I think it's the only way sometimes.
Sometimes the only way.
And I don't mean, you know, really bad, but I'd show them that I'm not putting up with this.
Right.
And then the problem is you've got their family coming round, and they're probably quite...
Go to sleep. If you hit a kid and the dad comes down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah, equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, you know,
Yeah.
a bank job or a murder.
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because if they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, oh, I had a weird dream. It won't work.
It's like with our kid, right? He was. I told Ricky about this the other day in the pub, but
Is this your brother?
he never. Yeah,
Because he was a
never used
terror,
to be-
wasn't he?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but it
He
was
did
more.
drive a tank down the high street once, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when he was in the army.
Yeah.
But
Another story.
but this time, I remember my mum and dad were going out right for the evening, and I must have been about 5, so our Mark was like probably 18, something like that, 16, 17, 18. So my mum and dad go out, and our Mark says to me, right, here's a deal, do your little deal. I'm going to have a load of women round. Right, deal is, I'll let you have your tractor in the house.
Wow, he had a tank, you had a tractor.
but his brother didn't have the rocks that Carl had.
No.
So he needed the
So
tractor
hang
to
on,
put his toys
what kind of a
along.
man was he? He brought a bunch of women round.
So yeah, there was loads of, but you know when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, I know what they're up to. You're not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean? As long as I've got my tractor, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I was.
He actually hasn't changed a bit.
But how many women did he have round? Was it just him and like a bunch of women?
Yeah.
Was it like, what's his name? What's his name? Look like Nedwell from Confessions.
Yeah.
Confessions of an Older
What, they all
Brother.
just came round and
He liked his women. Seriously, right? My mum and dad had to move because they got sick of women coming round saying, "I've got a kid and it's your Mark's." They had to move because it got that bad.
Did you hear, when you were playing on your tractor, and there was women running back and forth in underwear, did you ever hear this noise? Did you ever hear that?
Or kind of wow, 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 wow.
Wow, 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 wow. And just see your brother's arse disappearing down the thing,
exactly.
being chased by a butcher. Did you ever...
It's not important. Is it?
Is that what it's going to be like, do you think, when I'm voted #1 most eligible bachelor in Great Britain?
Yeah, and you come in on your moped.
I mean, no, am I going to get a tractor?
Testing. This is a special transmission. A special one-off show. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Hello there.
and the little bald mank twat that is the shaven monkey known as Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, Rick, just a quick question, because if people have just stumbled across this, perhaps on the internet or on their TV channel, they're probably going to be a little bit alarmed by what you've said there. You've come straight in with little bald mank twat, and a lot of people don't know who that little bald mank twat is, so maybe you should clarify.
Well, I've got to say, I'm Ricky Gervais. You probably know me from such shows as The Office and Extras, cameos in the odd film. My long-term partner, not in that way, Stephen Merchant.
Not in that way. Stephen Merchant, yes, I was involved with some of those projects, but I've not been in a film.
And we met Carl when we went back to XFM as Conquering Heroes. We were let go when XFM changed hands, and then we did The Office, and then we came back, and we were big shots. No longer did we need to run the desk or press any buttons. So we were assigned, how can I put this, like a stupid lackey.
Yes. Proper... I mean, probably the person who was lowest on the rung,
I'd have thought so.
radio station.
They said, "Oh, give it to me. No one wants to work
The
Saturdays."
caretaker didn't work Saturdays, so they gave us Carl.
And we met Carl, and I was first struck by the roundness of his head. I'll be honest. I thought, this is a bald man, a little round-headed, bald freak of a man. He opened his mouth. He spoke funny. Actually, he spoke without opening his mouth. That was the second thing that struck me. He just had this slack-jawed gimpness about him. Words came out.
I think they get the idea now. Anyway,
Was what?
Do you feel that that was a balanced explanation of your meeting with us, or would you like to offer any extra detail there, Carl?
well, with every meeting, there's a different story, isn't there? The way you sort of looked at me and thought, he's weird. I saw Steve. It was like a triangle. Ricky was looking at me. I was looking at you, thinking that's weird.
It
And
seems
yeah, that's
a
where it
little
all began.
unjust that I'm the. You know, why aren't you having a go at Ricky for being fat and
Just because, no, I'm just saying on the first meeting,
Right.
it's like a museum, isn't it? Everybody rushes to the weird stuff first.
I love the fact that you're putting yourself firmly in that category as well, though. Oh, I love that. That's great. Like someone from Reservoir Dogs. Everyone looking at someone else.
But you don't feel that way about me anymore.
No, I've got used to it now. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
I'm saying that whatever your accusations of weirdness were, they all were
It
unfounded.
moves on, doesn't it? It's like anything, you get used to a look, don't you? I watch a lot of programs on stuff that people have up with them, and
You only watch programs about people that got something wrong with them. That is what you do. If ever you say, "Did you see that thing last night?" It's going to be something like the kid who was born with too many legs, or the baby with an arse for a head. It's always going to be stuff like that.
it's like there was a program on a bit back about a fella who had a funny head and what have you, and he lived in a small village, and nobody double taked anymore because you get used to it, don't you?
What was up with his head?
Just had like it was sort of like the new Elephant Man. He'd sort of gone for that look.
He's gone for that look.
And,
Well, what does he do in the morning? Just eat a bun, sort of
No,
shave.
it's just that's all I'm saying is people in his village. You want a big village. People were used to it, and they no longer stared. And that's what I'm saying with you.
But
And,
it's interesting that because you say you've acclimatised to my so-called weirdness. I don't know what weirdness that is. I've still not grasped that. But Ricky
the
continues
eyes.
to. What?
It's just the eyes.
He's listing shit.
Why are you listening? So I've not had a go at you and you stupid f***ing round head like a f***ing orange. Which is the thing which perpetually entertains Ricky. Ricky is never acclimatised to you. Is that fair, Rick?
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of him. Because I see different things. Every time I look at Carl, sometimes I see like a completely sort of like spherical object. Right, like honestly, like some sort of pumpkin on you know, Halloween. And then I see him, flat, straight
With
on.
a pumpkin, Rick,
What?
with a jack-o'-lantern outside someone's house, right? There is a certain light behind the eyes. Not with Carl.
And then sometimes he looks like a plate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like a clay plate that a child has made.
When they've made a face on the plate using
Yeah.
their food.
Or a biscuit. Like one of those biscuits, novelty biscuits you can buy
Sure,
at
that
your
you can
birthday.
ice with a little smile into mine.
Yeah. But that's not the, I think that's not the biggest thing about it. Carl, it isn't his, physicality, it isn't it the roundness of his head, it isn't the gimpness of his slack-jawed, face. It's not even his hairy body and sort of like chimp-like gait. It is.
Although those are all key features.
These are all key features, but
Yeah.
it's his incredible mind. And I think maybe over the next 2 hours or so, if you haven't heard of Carl, then I think you're in retreat. If you have heard of Carl, then you're already being treated, I think, by the fact that he is present on this special broadcast.
Rick, can I suggest that we take a pause there, play some music, come back and we'll talk some more?
Oh, this isn't just about Carl. We're playing some great tunes. Arctic Monkeys, Fluorescent Adolescent. Talking of monkeys, we're here with Karl Pilkington. Well, I say we. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
Doing a special one-off broadcast. Now, it's special in the sense that I don't know why it's special. I started that sentence. I had no.
You had no
I had no backup. It's not particularly special. We've done this thousands of times. Well, it's special in the sense.
You got the old team back together.
Exactly. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
Yeah.
That's why it's a special one-off. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
I know it's special for me because I'm giving up a time, about 3 or 4 hours of my time for no money and no personal gain. So
Well,
it's a special treat
you
for
say
me in
that
respect.
now. Sammy Jacob, right, is the guy that founded XFM and gave me and Steve our break
Yeah.
in entertainment or whatever comedy. I remember also on the second day, he said, "When are you two going to do some work before I fire?"
Yes.
Which was
and
yeah.
I vowed that no one would ever say that again.
yeah.
And
So he called me out of the blue and said, you know, we're launching Enemy Radio. That's a good project. You know, I'm a fan of the genre. Right, will you do a special show? Right, I called Steve. Steve went, well, I called Carl and he went, definitely not. And so I had to persuade these two miserable bastards to do this show. Carl, why didn't you want to do this? As a favour, I said to Carl, let's do it, let's do one. There was two reasons I wanted to do this. One, we'd stop the podcast.
Yeah.
Carl, we charged for the podcast because you'd left work, and, you know, we did very, very well with that, and I thought I want to give something back to the fans, okay? That's one thing, okay? Right? Two, I want to do Sammy a favour. Why not? Okay?
Well, that's fair. That's your opinion.
Yeah, but you, yes.
But what you can't do when you're doing someone a favour, you can't go, yeah, Steve and Carl feel the same about it. Yeah, of course I'll do it, Sammy.
Well,
of course Carl will do you a favour, the man you've never met and you've never done a favour for yourself.
Well-
Of course he'll do it.
Well, hold on. Steve didn't want to do it either. He was busy. He works on Six Music, so he was worried about that. He shouldn't really be doing
I shouldn't
it.
really be doing this, and I'd say this, if you do love great new music and lively chat, then Six Music Sunday afternoons is a great place to be with the Steve Merchant Show.
I agree. There's enough for everyone to go round. Enjoy that. Enjoy this. But Steve does it a favour to me. I said, Steve, I'll do it. All right, mate. You've done me enough favours.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. Okay. You didn't fall for that. I said, as a favour to me. No, he didn't. I even started an internet campaign to put in the poster up saying, Carl, do some work, you little lazy bastard. After a month, he was begging me to stop it.
I
He
wasn't
was
begging you, it was just a bit stupid.
You were really annoyed.
Yeah.
What I
was
like
annoyed.
though, it's interesting because you're a busy man, Rick, and I know you've been heavily involved with lots of projects. How you found time, because you don't like writing and doing any form of administration at any time. How you found time to write a daily blog is quite remarkable.
Well, I knew it was irritating him.
Right.
It was, it captured the imagination of, you know, people all over the world. I wanted him to do this podcast, and here we are. What changed your mind, Carl?
Well, you kept going on about it,
Yeah.
and then I thought,
You saw friendship was an important thing.
yeah, a little bit of that.
Now I've got to tell Steve something on air that Steve doesn't know about. Me and Steve are doing this for free, as a favour. I'm doing it as a favour to Sammy. Steve's doing it as a favour for me. That's what friends are for. Carl was negotiating himself some money.
Yeah, well, this
Who the hell have you negotiated money from?
with Sammy, I didn't know him. I owe this man nothing. I'm not doing anything for free. I've got bills to pay. We've all got bills to pay, right?
Oh.
You've got other work that brings you money in.
Let me just stop because
Sick of it.
wait though, because this is interesting. Because as you say, Rick, you're doing this as a favour to Sammy. He gave you your big break. Now, Rick, you gave me my big break, right? I didn't know Sammy. Ricky gave me a break. I'm doing this as a favour to Ricky.
Oh, hold on.
Who the hell gave Karl Pilkington a big break? There's one man in this room who wouldn't even have an agent, wouldn't even have a need for an agent if it weren't for Mr. Ricky Gervais. But hang on a minute, it's not me. 'Cause
Nice one, Steve.
I'm already thanking you, Rick. by doing
Nice
this
one,
free,
Steve.
This free show. So hang on a
You
minute.
miserable, ungrateful little mank twat. Yeah, it's I hope you feel really bad.
I don't feel bad.
Me and Steve are doing it out of the kindness of our heart.
Yeah, free.
You're money grabbing again. They also on the internet how mean he is.
I'm not mean.
You are mean, Carl. Because you know we did those paid podcasts, and all I wanted to do was some free ones. You wouldn't do it
Because we've done it now. I'm just saying you've got to get to a point when you go, I enjoyed that. Yeah, the podcasts were alright. Cut them off. You don't keep the story going. With the Bible, they didn't go, let's do another volume. People seem to like this story.
Yes, they did.
What?
The New Testament. The Old Testament was a
Yeah,
massive
alright, they did it
success.
once then. They did like a special for the fans. But all I'm saying is...
one sequel.
But they didn't keep going on. And we did 3 lots of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's more than enough for anyone.
But I just wanted to give you know the people on the internet something back.
Yeah, well, we've given them enough. Sick
do-
of the people on the internet always moaning.
What? Who am I?
Just moan.
Who do?
People do. Sick of it.
We
Calling me
should-
Graham. They said I'm not even real. They said he's an actor. He's called Graham. That annoyed me. That's the thing that annoyed me the most. Graham. Of all the names. It's just that if I'm not me, what am I? That's the thing that annoyed me most. If I am-
Not me, what am I?
Well, it would annoy me if someone was accusing me of something. I mean, that's the thing. No, it annoyed you because they were stating a falsehood.
Yeah, that's what annoys me. That's what did me head in.
Let's play a record and be back with Carl after this.
listening. In this
You are
book,
gay.
listen, right? In this book, little tips and stuff. So one here about if your dog keeps nicking a remote control.
Sure.
The way to get it off it, ring the doorbell. Right, so you got to get off your chair, go and ring the doorbell. So the dog goes, "What's that?" And it drops the remote control, goes running to the door.
Yeah.
You run back and pick it up.
I love the idea of Carl doing that, and then the doorbell goes, and Carl drops it and goes, and it's the dog pressing the doorbell, and it sits back down, and Carl going, "Oh no, not again."
I mean, I really do want. Can't I just have this?
You excited by that, are you?
It's brilliant.
What about this one, though, that you mentioned? This is, a book which has got all those, urban legends and stories that you've read on the internet, and it tells you whether they're real or not. This has got the one in there. I know you're very excited about the one with the woman who stuck her head in the microwave.
Yeah.
Eh?
Right.
It's not.
Alright, so basically she's saying here that whenever Ricky says, "Oh, it's not true," you can dispute that with your book.
Yeah. What do you think then, Carl? Do you want to have a think about all these gifts? And
There's
then
so much
come back?
stuff, isn't there?
Should we play a record and then come back? Have you found something you like in there?
You're so undecided, Carl.
I really like this book.
Go on, and what is it? What else you found? What tip?
God, there's loads of stuff in here. Let's just pick one at random. Don't be too tidy. Leave some areas for helpful garden animals to hide in. So when you're cleaning your garden and that, you know, it might look a bit of a mess, but think about the animals that are walking about at night in the dark and stuff.
Yeah.
Just little things you don't think about.
Yeah, because they're pointless.
Little, yeah.
Okay, then we'll just play a record.
Oh, there's so many to decide on.
Alright, what we're playing, Steve?
This is something from a little compilation that came free with a magazine called Comes With a Smile. It's a good little magazine. And this is by Matt Pond, PA. It's called Night's End. It's not, I suppose there's a little bit of New Country, which we don't play often, but there's some nice tracks floating
very
about,
nice,
and that's
very
Matt
nice.
Pond, PA, Night's
Well,
End.
I'm getting very sad now. 10 minutes to go. And so much to cram in. Now, thing is, Carl's fallen in love with that book, but I feel a bit bad letting a friend sort of win when all these lovely people, these regular listeners, so I don't think you can have that. But I'll tell you what, I'll borrow that, or I'll buy it for you. So you can have that anyway. What have
That's
you
safe.
found?
You're going home with that.
You know, avoid washing up by boiling the bag food.
See, I can see why you'd love that.
Exactly.
Is there anything else? What about, what other things have you caught your eye though? Put that book down. Yeah, go on.
Well,
One of our regular listeners who actually wants the bag and wants to be part of your life. Come on.
right, well, Richard emailed in, right? And he's got a book, which is similar to the one I like there.
Yeah.
Which has got like 180 stories in it. Most of them are like true, I think. Do you know I was telling you that story about the woman who put her head in the oven to dry her hair
Yeah.
because she liked the way.
She boiled her brain.
Yeah, she stuck it in a microwave.
Avoid washing your hair by boiling the brain bags.
So she put her head in the microwave
Yeah.
and boiled her brains.
Yeah.
Boiled her brains.
Sure.
She thought she'd get the same result as she did from the oven, but it all went wrong and that. And
What do you mean? She used to dry hair in the oven, and she just like went modern.
Apparently, it's like what punks used to do. You get a different sort of heat off an oven than you do off a hairdryer, right?
Sure.
So she thought, well, I'll do it in half the time. Use a microwave.
Sure.
She
She was busy.
I
She
don't
was late.
understand how you can get your head in a microwave. It only works when the door closes.
Yeah, but you jam the little thing, don't you?
Well, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't tell. I don't think it's possible, but don't.
Of course it is.
Yeah, well,
anyway,
don't
but
do that.
he remembers that story and said, I've got a book full of stuff like that. And he sort of sums up a little story that's in the book about this girl who she had long hair, right? And she used to always mess around with it. And she's sucking on it. Do you know, like how girls do with the long hair? They sort of mess around with it and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's sucking on it all the time. And she was doing this from the age of like 10. And then, I don't know, she's probably about 30 odd. And she's doing this all the time.
Guessing.
And she goes, oh God, my belly's hurting today, mum. And she goes, oh, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know.
You're 30.
Yeah. So she goes to the doctors, and the doctors do an X-ray, and nothing's coming up. And it's like, I don't know what's wrong with you. You know, you're just being a bit moany about nothing. She's like, no, honestly.
He's a very intolerant doctor.
Yeah.
She said, this is
Piss off.
this is really hurting. I don't know what's up with it. So anyway, they found out some sort of system of looking at what was going on.
Yeah.
And apparently,
X-rays?
no, it wasn't X-ray because X-ray didn't show it up.
Okay.
It was something else. So anyway, it's only gone and turned into like she's been sucking her hair for so many years
Sure.
that little bits had come off. And
Sure.
she's got a giant air ball in her belly. Right?
Yeah.
Which was like huge, the size of a rat or something like that, right? The size of a...
It's so interesting what he chose. The size of a rat.
No. Well, the funny thing is, when they eventually got it out,
Yeah.
the mum was like, you know, oh god, it was terrible, and that's what she actually said. It looked like a dead rat.
Oh. Right.
And it was in her belly, and that's like what was causing all the pain.
Sure.
And apparently, your belly acids don't kill hares because they're so fine it can't handle it. Yes.
Right. So you're going for that book, are you?
That's the one I want.
Who's the winner then? Who's the winner of the lovely BAFTA
What's his
bag?
name there? Richard Scholar, is it or something?
Yeah, Richard, Scular or Scowler
Yeah.
or something else. So he's the winner, so check it out. You're gonna get that book coming to you. I'll borrow this book for you.
I need an email within like 5 working days to sort of...
So what's your email?
It's carl.pilkington@xfm.co.uk.
Okay, lovely.
I want an email from this guy, and I won't be sending the bag out until I receive the goods.
Okay, right, good. Well, we've only got a few minutes. I want to play Suede, and I want to end with the Smiths track, so let's play this.
What is it?
Suede, Stay Together. Lovely track. My favourite Suede track of all time there. Well, oh, that's nearly it, Carl. Right, what's your last Room 101?
Oh, God. It was, holidays.
Holidays.
You want to put holidays in room 101?
People who are sort of annoying on holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know when you go away?
Oh, yeah.
We've sort of touched on this before.
Is this going to be the Scouse guy?
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, it's so long though. I mean, it was a holiday when we went to Tunisia.
And the Scouser pissed you off, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the annoying thing was, you know, when you go on it was a cheap holiday, and like the lesson here is, you know, if you want a good holiday, you gotta like spend some money.
Yeah.
And we didn't on this one. We spent about, I don't know, 400 quid for 2 of us for like a month or something ridiculous. And we got there, and you know, you get to the hotel and you go, we have made a mistake. You know, it's a ropey hotel. You know, you can tell like the blinds and stuff as you're walking, they're all dirty and stuff. You think, well, let's make the most of it. You know, let's not get down about it. It's a holiday. It's for a rest. And you try and make the most of it. And we had to meet. You know, like you have one of those things where you get to your destination and the rep says, right, you know, go and unpack your bags and that. Go and sort yourself out in the room. And tomorrow morning we'll meet up at 10 o'clock, and I'll go through, you know, the best sort of place to go for camel rides, and you know, the best deals I can get you. That sort of thing.
Can anyone here walk like an Egyptian?
So she says, right, tomorrow morning meet 10 o'clock in the discotheque. So we get up and we have breakfast, and it wasn't a good breakfast. The kitchen was like bit horrible, the food wasn't good, and it was run by sort of midgets.
What do you mean it was run? Not there's anything wrong with that.
There was little fellas running around, and the annoying thing was one of them sort of started to fancy my girlfriend.
How did he manifest his affection for
No, you're not saying there's anything wrong with midgets, though, are you? Just saying it was
not
strange
at
that there
all.
was
Yeah, but even midgets shouldn't be cutting in on Carl Pilkington's
No,
territory.
I know, no.
But it's also that thing of, you know, they've got little fingers, and... And it's sort of
God, I'm
ruined-
so sorry.
No, I'm not. It is a bit of a phobia of mine.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? They are nice people and that.
Sure. Oh, God.
But the annoying thing is...
So what was he doing then? How did he... I don't understand how he was chatting up your girlfriend. Was he crawling under the table so you couldn't see?
just kept...
Whispering to her from underneath there.
Stop it.
Just sort of, you know...
Wait, I don't want to get a complaint on our last show.
There's not many midgets.
What's going to happen? Can we just finish this and start up again in a couple of months?
Oh, yeah. So if you want to know more about the midget theme restaurant, then we'll talk you in 3 months.
Yeah.
It's just... It's just...
No, that's fair enough, actually.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
absolutely
no,
right,
sorry
Carl.
about
That's your
this.
producer's
Listen,
head
we'll see you in about a really, it's been a pleasure, truly, and thank you for everyone that wrote
I've got you a couple of
letters.
presents.
Have you really?
Yeah,
I've got you both a present. Right?
Oh.
I got Ricky, you know, like we've done fables and
Yeah.
stuff. Right?
Yeah.
This is like Mr. Ben.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like little fables that Mr. Ben goes on.
Oh, fantastic.
So I want you to learn something from that for when you come back.
Okay, brilliant. That's lovely,
I'll tell you one
Carl.
of the stories I read this morning. It's brilliant. In fact, when you've done with it,
Yeah.
give it me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't finished reading that.
Okay. Thank you, Carl.
And for Steve, a little
Oh,
Shut up lines.
A little book of chat-up lines.
that's fantastic.
great, Carl.
Thank. Well, we'll see you in 3 months. But currently, man and Carl, cherish Karl Pilkington. He sits in a little room by himself, so keep him in touch. And we'll see you in August. We're going to leave you with something that we all love. This is "There Is a Light That Never Goes Out" by the Smiths. Very apt, I think. Goodbye.
See you later.